That we have confirmed that at least 18 people have been taken to the hospital. NBC News able to confirm that. We do not know the severity of their injuries or what their situation is right now, but at least 18 people have been taken to the hospital as a result of this shooting that took place there. Some 3 people we learned within the last few moments are in custody.
That's really that's all the information we have. 3 suspects, but it is progress. It's something that we didn't have, which is just now breaking.
Yeah.
And again, it speaks to the possibility of there perhaps being multiple shooters. But as you mentioned, when this happens, it doesn't necessarily mean that there were only 3 shooters or that there were as many as 3 shooters.
And Frank, a part of that also, again, is Texas being an open carry state, and you could be carrying a gun, and many people hearing this gunshots and then pulling their weapons out, and maybe police just got to the scene and started trying to get as many people in custody as possible.
Yeah, you would have SWAT teams moving through with actually just carrying flexicuffs. If somebody's armed and poses a threat, they may just put people in cuffs. And so the mayor could be getting reports that multiple people are in custody, but it could be just for officer safety purposes. We don't know yet.
Okay, I want to go now to NBC News investigative reporter Andrew Blankstein. Andrew, can you give us the latest information you have there from El Paso?
So, law enforcement source familiar with the incident says that at least 18 people have been transported to local hospitals with injuries ranging from minor to critical. There's no specific number of those that have been treated or being treated for gunshot wounds, or even at this point a fatality count. But obviously, one of the other things that they were emphasizing, as we were just talking about on air, is this idea that despite multiple reports, that this main scene is really what they have.
You guys, I see a shot of somebody speaking. Let me go to that press conference.
No lleguen a este lugar porque la área está cerrada, nadie va a poder entrar. Entonces, si quieren, si no han comunicado con sus familias y piensan que a lo mejor estaban aquí en esta área cuando esto ocurrió en la mañana, entonces vayan a la calle, a la MacArthur Middle School a reunificarse.
That police officer was basically telling people not to come to the mall right now, that it is still a fairly active situation there. You see the police, he do appear calm. He's speaking in English. Listen.
Multiple fatalities and several people that have been transported.
How many fatalities?
I can't give you that number at this time. We're still going through the scene.
Is this one scene or multiple scenes?
We're searching multiple scenes, primarily the Walmart, but we have scenes at the mall also. So the entire area. I can't give you any other details other than what I've given you.
Okay. Anywhere other than Walmart?
We're going to get you all the complete and as much information as we can get you. But for right now, the important thing is putting out that reunification center and making sure that nobody comes to the mall. Okay, we have plenty of people here. The scene is controlled by officers on the perimeter, but we have technical teams going on with a search in the entire area here around the mall.
Are people still in danger?
We don't believe there isn't an imminent threat. There is no active shooter currently, but that's not to say that we've rendered the scene safe at this time.
¿Cuántos tienes detenidos?
Sí, tenemos una persona detenida, gente que ha fallecido aquí en la área.
Okay, so the headline right there from that police officer that we just heard moments ago confirming there have been multiple fatalities as a result of this shooting. They have several scenes that they are searching. Yes. One of them being the mall, the Walmart that we heard about. The other scene being the Cielo Vista Mall, which is just some feet nearby. He says there is not an imminent threat to the public right now, and they have set up a reunification center to kind of control everybody. He did say as well, moments ago, 1 person in custody.
So he said 1 person in custody there, but no active shooter, no imminent threat, but obviously still a developing scene there in the heart of El Paso. You gotta, again, it's difficult to hear this again, you know.
Let me talk to Philip in the meantime here, because This is your city.
Yeah.
This is your mall.
Yeah.
Your aunt and your nieces were there at that mall when all of this was taking place.
Yeah.
Talk to us through this.
Look, I mean, it's hard to hear. Anytime you hear about these shootings, we cover it on a daily basis, and now it's in your hometown. And when something like that happens, it's just hard to process. That is my first thought. You know, you start to see the name of the city on these alerts, and it's your hometown, and it affects you. And especially when you start to get all the messages, you know, I want to make sure that everybody's okay. And again, my family, I have members of my family that were inside that Cielo Vista Mall. And luckily they were able to get out safely right before the doors locked. And that makes me feel a little bit better. But I also, hearts go out to those who weren't able to escape in time.
When you first got the reports, I know your mom has been tweeting you or texting at you, and you knew your aunt was there. You know this place very, very well. It had to make your heart drop.
Of course it does. You know, it's still a developing situation here, but in my mind, it's already so heavy. You know, there are people that are dead. There are at least 18 people that were transported to the hospital, and even though it's a city of 800,000 or so, it's a small community. I guarantee there'll be somebody that knows somebody that was affected directly today.
Is that what worries you as you watch all of this playing out?
Yeah, I mean, again. We hear all the time about, I can't believe it happened in our town or my street, and now it's unfolding on this day in a place that I love dearly.
All right, this program note to many of our viewers right now, and within a minute we will join an NBC News special report. Our colleague Jose Diaz-Balart is standing by and will update the nation and ourselves on the latest that we're hearing from this. But what we do know is that multiple people have been killed. There were several others who were injured as a result of this. They say that it is not an imminent threat to the public. We are told that at least one person is in custody, but they're investigating several scenes right now, including the Walmart and the Cielo Vista Mall, which is right nearby. It is a massive and popular mall there in the El Paso area and was very, very crowded at the time of this shooting. So we're going to get the latest from NBC News in just the next few moments from our colleague Jose Diaz-Balart, who will be